Welcome to this comprehensive 2026 Mesobook guide on the critical link between asbestos exposure and lung cancer, and the legal rights that protect victims and their families today. While many people immediately associate asbestos with mesothelioma, it is a vital fact that asbestos exposure is also a leading cause of lung cancer across the United States. In 2026, thousands of workers who were exposed to toxic fibers decades ago are now facing a diagnosis that impacts their health and their financial security. Today, we are breaking down the medical science of this link and the multi-billion-dollar legal systems designed to provide you with justice and support. The biological link between asbestos and lung cancer is well established by decades of medical research where microscopic fibers are inhaled and become lodged deep within the lung tissue. Over a period of 20 to 50 years, these fibers cause chronic inflammation and cellular damage that can eventually lead to the formation of malignant tumors. One of the most important things to understand in 2026 is that you have legal rights regardless of whether you are a smoker or not. Asbestos companies often try to blame smoking for a lung cancer diagnosis, but the law recognizes that asbestos exposure significantly increases the risk and acts as a contributing factor. If you have a history of working in shipyards or power plants or construction sites, you likely have a valid claim for compensation. As we move through 2026, the average settlement for an asbestos-related lung cancer case ranges between $150,000 and $400,000, though some high-value settlements reach $1 million or more. These funds are intended to cover the rising costs of medical treatment and lost wages, and the pain and suffering of the patient. The legal landscape in 2026 offers three primary pathways to recovery, starting with the $30 billion held in asbestos trust funds. These trusts were created by companies that filed for bankruptcy and were forced by the courts to set aside money specifically for asbestos victims. As of early 2026, there are over 60 active trusts that allow you to file a claim from the comfort of your own home without ever going to trial. For a lung cancer diagnosis, these trusts use a scheduled value system that provides an administrative payout once you prove your exposure history and your medical diagnosis. The second pathway is a personal injury lawsuit against companies that are still in business and have not filed for bankruptcy. In 2026, most of these cases end in a settlement before a trial date is ever set because the evidence of asbestos toxicity is so overwhelming. The third pathway is specifically for our veterans who make up a massive portion of the asbestos community. In 2026, the Department of Veterans Affairs has assigned a 100% disability rating for service-related lung cancer, which can provide over $3,800 per month in tax-free compensation. You can receive these VA benefits at the same time as you pursue private legal settlements, which creates a comprehensive financial safety net for your family. To protect your legal rights in 2026, you must act quickly, as the statute of limitations typically gives you only 1 to 3 years from the date of your diagnosis to file a claim. Our guide recommends gathering your work history documents and social security records and pathology reports as soon as possible. Specialized asbestos law firm can do the heavy lifting for you by using digital databases to identify exactly which products were present at your job site 50 years ago. These firms work on a contingency fee basis, meaning you pay nothing unless they successfully recover money for you, so there is no financial risk to your family. By holding these negligent corporations accountable, you are not only securing your own future, but ensuring that the companies responsible for this health crisis are held to the standards of justice. The money recovered can be used for the best medical care available in 2026, including clinical trials and advanced immunotherapy, which are extending the lives of lung cancer patients every day. Thank you for watching this Mesobook official guide, and we encourage you to use the resources linked in our description to start your free case evaluation and protect your rights today. Welcome to this 2026 Mesobook official review, where we are uncovering a critical but often overlooked medical and legal reality. While mesothelioma gets the most attention, asbestos exposure is also a primary cause of lung cancer, and thousands of families are missing out on millions of dollars in compensation because they did not realize they have a valid claim. Today, we are exploring the biological link between toxic fibers and lung cancer, and the specific legal rights that protect you even if you were a smoker or have already been told your cancer was caused by something else. The medical community in 2026 has confirmed that asbestos fibers act as a powerful carcinogen that can cause malignant tumors in the lungs decades after the initial exposure occurred. When these microscopic fibers are inhaled, they become trapped in the sensitive tissue of the lungs, causing chronic inflammation and cellular mutations. Over a period of 20 to 50 years, this damage can evolve into non-small cell lung cancer or small cell lung cancer or adenocarcinoma. One of the biggest myths we are debunking in 2026 is that smokers cannot file an asbestos claim. The truth is that smoking and asbestos exposure have a synergistic effect, which means they work together to exponentially increase your risk of cancer. If a non-smoker has a certain baseline risk of lung cancer, a smoker who was also exposed to asbestos has a risk that is 50 to 90 times higher than a normal person. The legal system in 2026 recognizes this and allows smokers to recover significant compensation because asbestos is still considered a substantial contributing factor to the illness. Our data for early 2026 shows that the average settlement for an asbestos-related lung cancer case often ranges from $100,000 to over $1 million, depending on the severity and the history of exposure. For example, we have recently seen a $1.6 million settlement for a plumber with lung cancer and a $912,000 award for a patient in West Virginia. To secure these funds, you must first understand the three main pathways to compensation, beginning with the $30 billion held in asbestos trust funds. As of February 2026, there are over 60 active trusts that were set up by bankrupt asbestos companies specifically to pay victims like you without a court trial. The second pathway is a personal injury or wrongful death lawsuit against solvent companies that are still in business today. These cases are increasingly common in 2026 as lawyers have become more efficient at proving the link between specific job sites and lung cancer diagnoses. The third pathway is for our veterans, as the Department of Veterans Affairs has assigned service-related lung cancer a 100% disability rating for 2026. This means eligible veterans can receive over $3,800 per month in tax-free benefits along with free health care from the VA. You can receive these monthly payments while simultaneously pursuing private legal settlements, which can provide a massive financial cushion for your family. To protect your legal rights this year, you must gather 4 essential pieces of evidence, starting with your medical records that confirm your lung cancer diagnosis and imaging like court scans or PET scans. Second, you need a detailed history that identifies where you might have encountered asbestos, such as shipyards or power plants or even automotive garages. Third, you should provide any evidence of secondary exposure if you live with someone who brought asbestos home on their work clothes. Fourth, and perhaps most importantly in 2026, you need a pathology report that shows markers of asbestos exposure such as pleural Plaques or asbestosis, which act as the smoking gun for your legal claim. Even if you were a lifelong smoker, these asbestos markers prove that toxic fibers played a role in your illness and entitle you to a seat at the negotiating table. Most of our top-rated firms are seeing families receive their first trust fund checks in as little as 90 days, which helps cover the staggering costs of modern lung cancer treatments like immunotherapy and targeted molecular therapy. Remember that these lawyers work on a contingency fee basis, meaning you never pay anything upfront, and they only get paid if they win money for you. The companies that manufactured asbestos knew the risks for decades, and they are legally required to provide this compensation to the victims and their families. Thank you for watching this 2026 guide, and we hope this empowers you to seek the justice and financial support that you and your family rightfully deserve.